Hi, this is Steve Webster. Thanks for tuning in to today's thought. So quickly, it has been mentioned that there seems to be a conflict. Let's say the resurrection of Jesus. In some scriptures, it says on the third day, and other scriptures says after 3 days. So the short answer is, if we go back to their period, there are certain ways of talking things. Just like in today's modern time, if we go to a hotel, check in, check out, depending on the policies and the terms, it could be less than 24 hours, but it counts for 2 days. So there's things like that. Some people have stated there's inclusive counting, and then that particular day could count as a day. In Genesis, actually, it defines the daylight as a day, and when it's not sunny, it's night. So one could argue to say, well, as long as the sun's out, that's a day. Also, I believe in Luke, it mentions the sky darkened. Um, so from like noon their time to about 3 p.m. their time, it was dark. So one could argue, well, Friday will have a day, a darkness, and more day. And some could argue to say, well, isn't that like 2 days within 24 hours? Yeah, according to that definition. So it's interesting where if you go on the internet, you'll see different thoughts and reasoning. Some people actually have gone into the nerdy stuff to say, well, we can go back in time when the full moon was and attach that to the Jewish calendar and things like that. There was not just one Passover that week, there was two. There's other types of festivals and things like that. So it's fair to say that whenever you hear someone say after 3 days or on the third day, it's one and the same. It really doesn't matter, but it's just still a thought because it can be a stumbling block, right? Some people could say, well, isn't this an example that you can't trust the Bible? It's a contradiction. Therefore, why should I believe anything in the Bible, right? So I think it's worth just talking about this briefly. Let me just say, I think, yes, Matthew 27:63 through 64. Here's an example where they're not Jews. We have Pilate, and then the chief priest comes where they are Jews, sorry, and the members of the chief priest and members, I'm not sure who was talking, we assume it's the chief priest. It says, "Sir, we remember while he was still alive, how that deceiver said, 'After 3 days I will rise.'" And later it says, "Therefore command that the tomb be made secure until the third day." So it's just the way some people would reference. To summarize the thought of the day, um, it could be on the day, in the day, or after. Even in Old Testament, there's been times where it's been mentioned that come back, I need to think about this, come back after 3 days. And then a couple verses later, they come back on the third day because that's what the king said. So it's just the way things were counted at certain points of the times. So it's possible to say, I can say after the third day, I can say on the third day, and I mean the exact same thing. If you want to peel back the onion to say, well, no, I'm stuck in my time, and I got to go by that. Well, it's not fair. And then if one says, well, wait a minute, can I use other scripture? Like I said before, where day is kind of like daylight, it counts as a day, and nighttime counts as a night. So if you go back to Luke, it actually says that there was darkness from about noon to 3 p.m. So that would also count as a third night as well. So I hope this was helpful. If you want to learn more and nerd out some more, you can spend a lot of time on the internet to look things up. I would start with YouTube. I did find one video that was pretty good. So let me know if you have any questions on this. Otherwise, we'll talk to you next time. Thanks.